Neverending Chain by Dragon Translator. Chapter 69. Before and After. Where ye beheading? Gobber asked. Stoic had no more been ordered to the Great Hall by Gothi, and Hiccup and his friends no more than an hour out to get the remedy's ingredients. Gobber would have thought the Shivering Shore's helmsman, whom he knew as the shore's heir, and Padrig would have better respect than to sneak off while most of the tribe was sick. Seeing as they were readying the boat they came in on, it did not seem so. Steinar looked up. Gobber, with mulch and bucket beside him, just stared. Steinar sighed. Hiccup beheading to Healer Island. Steinar whispered, If I know the other tribes, they also beheading there. I dunnot like they all be there together. Not full spring. Gobber grunted. He knew about the thing. Everyone on Buck knew about it. As soon as they were able after Snoggletalk, they were going to build some longhouses and places for those coming to stay in. Stoic had also confided in Gobber the reason why the tribes were so on fire for meeting. A silly reason to Gobber. As if Hiccup would order any dragon to raid another. Boy lacked that viciousness Vikings seem to love to show. Good thing too. The archipelago would not survive a bloodthirsty Hiccup. So why ye be ready in that boat? Gobber asked, eyes narrowing. We be thinking some might take vantage of young Hiccup, Steinar said. Boy don't need that while getting them ingredients. We're going to make sure they all play fair. Gobber frowned. Stoic had said Steinar knew the truth, so Steinar's comment could ring true. It was Padrig that threw everything off for Gobber. Padrig did not know the truth. He still thought the dragons be animals. The dragons, for their part, seemed to all know of the man's stupid move in the Great Hall, and the fact that he did not understand the common tongue. Any time he walked by one, they always had a mocking comment to give. Gobber tended to find the comments amusing, though he knew if Hiccup heard them, he would reprimand the dragons, and they would stop. I be no friend of dragons, Padrig said when Gobber stared at him. But I know soldiers, and I know when they be used by someone with no honour in their bones. That boy's story told me them dragons act due to fear of death. Ain't no reason to hate someone what be a slave ordered to act like that. I also know loyalty. Them dragons, animals they be loyal to you all. They be loyal to that boy. He dunna need some fool like I was to be provoking them dragons and starting another war. Gobber hummed, then nodded his head. Some in the tribe might think he was slow or dim-witted, due to always finding a bit of humour in any situation. All were wrong. Else Stoic, before the war, and both Stoic and Hiccup after the war, would not trust the tribe or the island to him. Gobber could see that Steinar truly did not want Hiccup bothered, and Padrig did realise some of the truth about the dragons. Both men were also correct. Other tribes and their elders would be heading to Healer Island, especially since Johann had said he warned every tribe he visited about the eelpox. All it took was one idiot to have them dragons with Hiccup react in order to protect him. Go, Gobber said, hoping a chief's heir and one of his generals would prevent a stupid Viking from acting recklessly. He did not have high hopes due to knowing Vikings and their stubbornnesses, but he also knew Hiccup and his crazy ability to pull miracles out of thin air. If anyone could aid in preventing a war, Gobber would place his gold on Hiccup. Steinar and Padrig tipped their heads before shoving off. Hiccup stared at the dragons as Toothless finished speaking. It doesn't bother any of you that this thing in my soul has the power to freeze you? He asked. The nest dragons stared back, and in one voice they answered him. No, Alpha. Hiccup blinked. We rejoice in this power, brother, Toothless said. You are finding your roar. All nest leaders have a roar. You should hear my father's. But Toothless nuzzled against Hiccup's knee. Brother, the power you hold is something we welcome. Please, don't fear it any longer. Hiccup sighed. he would still worry over it until he knew what it was and how it came to be. But everyone who spoke to him about it did not seem scared or put off. They all seemed welcoming and wanting it to continue. They trusted him. It was time to show he trusted them. He stared down at Toothless and smiled. Toothless returned it. Alpha, Gita asked, moving around to her son's bulk. Would you like me and Shadowfire to take the last ingredient back to Gothi so that she can fix up the medicine? Hiccup looked up and frowned. Just you and him? He asked. The trek was far, half a day by boat, half that by dragon, and they were in an area where other tribes were known to visit, since Gila Island belonged to all the tribes. Hiccup knew Astrid and the others had safety in numbers, but Gita and her son would be alone, and not all that familiar with the waters or the symbols on the ship's sails. Gita smiled and gestured to Fishlegs. I think you would enjoy speaking to the Typhumerangs. The what now? Fishlegs asked. That had Gita chuckling as she held up her hands and pointed to the fire spiralers. The human name for fire spiralers is Typhumerang. Who named our kind that? The female one asked. A young man who loves dragons, Gita answered. Only because of where he sat did Hiccup see Shadowfire cut his eyes towards Fishlegs, answering who the young man was for Hiccup. Hiccup could see that Fish loved dragons and would jump at a chance to name a new species, but for the life of him, he could not understand why Fish would have chosen Typhumerang. Why that name? Your spinning while on fire reminded him of a typhoon, a storm that can grow large and spin rapidly. If seen from above, it closely resembles the mark your kind leaves upon the ground. Why would humans wish to go that high? The male one asked. Gita placed her hand on Shadowfire's leg and chuckled. Because, with Vikings on the backs of dragons, the world got a whole lot bigger. Shadowfire snorted. Cute, Mum. Couldn't resist, son. Hiccup blinked, realising the line came from Gita's time, and since it was about Vikings and dragons, it was likely from one of the Bug Vikings had said it in the tale she and her family knew. He agreed with that unknown Viking. The world did get bigger now that they could fly, and Hiccup did want to explore it. Though he also wanted to remain on Berk and learn his tribe and his place there now that they wanted him. The human that speaks in one breath said the female is your mother, the Typhumerang said, as Hiccup now would think of them, as it seemed easier to remember than Fire Spiraler, said. I didn't believe him. Shadowfire lifted his head. His neck was long enough that he could stare the female in the eyes, so long as she curled her neck half over. She saved my egg from poachers who killed my blood parents. She was the first one I saw upon hatching. She raised me. She is my mother. The female blinked. Her gaze shifted to her fledglings that seemed to be chasing Moondust's moving tail. Hiccup smiled, realising the female Night Fury was doing that on purpose to keep the young ones entertained, and scratched her head as thanks. Moondust cooed. The female Typhumerang hummed. I had planned to take my young for a flight soon, she began. They will need to know where it is safe to go, and where to avoid. Her gaze fell upon Hiccup. You and your nest intrigue me. Would you permit myself and my young to visit one day and learn more? End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed this one. I like that. I love the references that they make. By the way, to Hiccup's famous line about the world getting bigger. I like that. And I like Steiner and Padrick. The fact that Padrick doesn't even know, but he recognises soldiers and knows that they were forced, so he doesn't judge them anymore. That's some really powerful and open-minded thinking. I'm impressed. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment and subscribe and hit that bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye my guys, girls and non-binary powers. I'll see you in another video. I love you guys. Bye!